Hello everybody. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can you guys hear me? I think you can. I didn't realize what time it was, and I made, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's strawberries, bananas, strawberry yogurt, and then granola bar. It's really good. Hey, Batman. Batman. Okay. We are doing a live reading of The Wish, chapter 25. So I'm going to take a nice drink here. Batman. Hi. You're not begging me for food because I fed you when I got home. I fed you. Hi. Hi, baby. Okay. I hope everybody's week went really, really well. So, I am going to read chapter 25. I think I said I was going to do chapter 25 and 26. So, okay. So I don't think they're really that long, but I'll read those two chapters. So, I guess I better take another drinky. Don't you guys just love my cup? Where did I get this? I think I got it at Walmart. I think I did. No, wait. Maybe it was Hobby Lobby. Maybe. I saw it on the shelf and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get it. So, okay. This is chapter 25 of The Wish. Don't you guys just love that cover? That's Olivia on the cover, by the way. Okay. Olivia stood by the window and watched as Gina opened the trunk of her car and pulled out another black security case. She came back into the house and set them on the couch. I'll be right back. I need to go get 2 more tripod cases. She walked back out to her car. It wasn't long till she came back into the living room, unlocked the hooks, then lifted the lids. Olivia stood close by to see what That was a little too loud. Forgot to turn that off. Olivia stood close by to see what all she had. She didn't remember seeing all this when she was at her house. There were video cameras and tripod legs. Her mom stood there with both hands on Olivia's shoulders. Is all this yours, Gina? Gina turned the video camera on. Yes, it's my hunting equipment. I use these when I'm on a ghost hunt too. Oh, I thought that's all you used. She bent down and unsnapped the belt to the side, then opened it. Aren't those hard to put together? Olivia asked. I mean, they seem so. She couldn't find the word she wanted to use. Hard to put together. Yes, it used to be hard for me to assemble a tripod, but after years of using them, I can easily set them up in record time. I had a case a couple years ago. A new couple moved into a house. It was haunted and infested with evil. The owners told me to stay away. Why? Olivia asked. They didn't want me to get hurt, but I didn't listen. I knew how bad they needed my help. So, I went back to the house. Things got worse. How? They got hurt bad. How did they get hurt? The wife was in a coma for a month. She didn't know who or where she was. My point is, she got hurt because I came back to help them. The evil spirits were mad that I was there. That's why I didn't come the first time you got attacked. Olivia. I didn't want you or your parents to get hurt, so I stayed away. She had a vision of me. Gina paused and looked back at Olivia. I'm sorry. She should have just told me. I know. Olivia, I'm really sorry. Gina grabbed the last pole, unscrewed it, then locked it in place. You don't know how bad I wanted to come and help. She grabbed a camera out of the bag, walked into the kitchen, and locked the video camera in place on top of the tripod, then went back into the living room. What was the vision about? Gina stopped and turned around. I saw the demon attacking you in bed. You were trying to fight it off, but it was too strong. Olivia's face grew warm, and she placed a hand to her lips. That's embarrassing. Olivia heard her mom in the kitchen doing something, but she was too focused on all of the recorders and the holy water bottles Gina had brought with her. She sure did carry a lot. Olivia grabbed a device she'd never seen before and looked at it. I wonder what this is used for. It was black with a handle and it had a screen. Below the screen were a few buttons that were marked with arrows. Olivia, leave Gina's equipment alone, her mom said from the kitchen. It's called ghost hunting equipment, Mom. I don't care what they are called. Leave them alone. It's okay, Doreen. It doesn't bother me. Olivia's mom took a sip of her tea. It's going to bother you when she drops it and breaks it. Olivia rolled her eyes. I'm not going to drop it, Mom. What's this for, Gina? It's a thermal camera. Gina turned it on. The screen lit up with different colors. The floor and walls were a yellow color. It will detect heat spots. That's how you find ghosts. Wow, the thought of ghosts didn't even scare Olivia now. She liked the thermal camera already. Do you see the color scale on the right side? Yeah. Aim the camera at me. What do you see? Olivia did. You are yellow and orange. When you aim at yourself in the mirror, you will see that. If you aim at something that is hot, it will show red because it's hot. Cold is a dark color. You can walk around with it if you want. No, Olivia's mom walked out of the kitchen and shook her head. I don't think that's a very good idea. Mom, it's okay. I don't want anything to happen. Nothing's going to happen, Mom. You worry too much. I have the right to worry. I'm your mother. Please give it back to her. Gina placed a hand on Olivia's mom's shoulder. Doreen, nothing will happen. Trust me. Olivia held the thermal camera out in front of her and saw a plus sign in the middle of the screen as she aimed it at the wall. She saw the wall studs. She smiled and walked around the room, stopping at the bottom of the stairs. They were the same colors as the wall. Olivia turned and aimed at Gina as she grabbed 3 recorders. She placed one in the kitchen and another in the living room. She took 3 steps up the staircase, but then froze. Something red showed on the screen. Her breathing picked up and this feeling of hate and evil surrounded her. She slowly looked up and gasped. There was Inga. She stood there glaring at Olivia. She floated by the top of the landing, then dissipated into thin air. Olivia lowered the camera, then took a few steps back down the stairs. Once she stopped, next to Gina. She tapped her on the shoulder. Yeah, Olivia? This next line is like my next favorite. Her heart hammered, beat after beat, as she pointed. We're going to need more holy water. Her throat grew dry like she hadn't had water for days. Gina turned around and then gasped, as if she saw something. What? You see her, don't you? Keep aiming that camera. What did you see? Just aim the camera, Gina said in a stern voice, then headed up the stairs step by step. Olivia followed behind, aiming the camera out in front of her. One room at a time, Gina placed the recorder on the nightstand. Then made a cross above the door by tipping the holy water over on her finger. Once she finished all the rooms, they both stopped a few feet from Olivia's door, where the most paranormal activity was occurring. Olivia, what do you see on that camera? Olivia aimed around the room. I don't see red. Are you sure? Olivia nodded. Yeah, I see blue. We need to leave this room. What? Why? Gina turned Olivia around and closed the door. She gripped the door handle and breathed heavily. She looked at Olivia. You are right. We are going to need more holy water. What did you see? Something evil is in there. Like what? What is it, Gina? Inga. Was it Inga? It didn't show itself. It doesn't want me in there. Why? Because I'm a threat. Once Gina was downstairs, she grabbed a set of tripod legs and a camera. She set it up in the hallway by the landing, then went back downstairs. What's in my daughter's room? Doreen asked. Olivia said there is something in her room. Yes, there is. I don't want anything to happen to you guys. Nothing is going to happen, Gina, Olivia insisted, because you are here. That's how you see it, Olivia, not me. I see it differently. Olivia stood there quietly. Gina opened a box and pulled out some smudge sticks for Olivia and her parents. I'm going to walk around the house with the sticks and say a prayer. Do you think this all will work? Do you think this will work? Olivia's dad asked. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, she explained. All hauntings are different. Just stay here. Olivia took the smudge stick and lit it with the lighter. It burnt as smoke floated in the air. Gina opened the holy water and made a circle around Olivia's parents. The circle will protect you from evil. They can't hurt you because of the holy water. As long as you stay in this circle, you'll be fine. Whatever you see or hear, don't leave it, stay put. Gina lit a patch of smudge sticks and said, You shall leave. You are not wanted here, she repeated. Olivia watched her walk through the house. She felt the evil like a knife in her spine. Something was in the room with them. The scariest part was not being able to see it. The air became thicker, almost hard to breathe. The heaviness weighed on her body. Gina went into the kitchen and blessed every corner as Olivia followed. A loud bang echoed from upstairs. Olivia looked back at Gina. She then followed her into the living room, then stopped next to her. She noticed Gina staring at the top of the stairs, where the loud bang came from, where the loud bang had come from. That's odd. What is she looking at now? Nothing was there as far as Olivia saw. It's still here. I don't see anything, Olivia said. That's good that you're not seeing it. I don't want you to. I heard a heavy voice come from the demon. It told me it's not going anywhere. Olivia's cheeks grew warm. She sure didn't want to hear that. Dear Lord, fill this house with light and love. Banish all negative energy. She then stopped at the bottom of the stairs. Her head felt like it was spinning. She couldn't find her sense of direction. Squeezing her eyes shut, black spots shelled her vision. What's going on? Olivia, Gina said. She looked over at her mom and dad. Her mom moved a foot forward towards the edge of the circle. Her dad stopped her and held on to her tighter, so she would stay. Mom, no, stay there, Olivia commanded. Don't leave the circle. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Are you sure? You don't look so good. You're pale. I'll be fine, just don't leave the circle. Olivia relaxed her breathing and walked up the stairs, then continued to pray. Her hands continued to shake. Darkness floated in front of the bathroom. She leaned back against the wall and let out a heavy sigh. Her heart pounded in her ears. Goosebumps rose on her arms. Okay, so that was chapter 25. And that was really interesting to write. I think if my apartment was haunted, I would be curious and looking at all the ghost hunting equipment, because like it would take my mind off of like the scary things that is happening. And Olivia's mom is like really concerned that she's gonna break something, or like break like one of the ghost hunting equipment items, whatever. And when I was actually writing that scene during that time, I didn't know what type of like paranormal researcher that Gina was supposed to be. And I thought it would be fun for her to go on ghost hunts and like get evil spirits out of houses. So I knew when I wrote that Gina was gonna have to have some ghost hunting equipment. So I went to our public library and I did a lot of research on different types of items that people take when they go investigate like an old hospital, a school, a cemetery, just any type of thing like that. So that's when I had to figure out what I wanted Gina to use when she does her ghost hauntings or whatever. So now I'm going to read chapter 26. I'm going to take a few bites of my yogurt because it is so good. Oh my gosh. This is so good. I don't want my bananas to get soggy. Hi. How are you? I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay. Alright, chapter 26. Olivia held this smudge stick out in front of her as she took a few steps back. Dear Lord, fill this house with light and love. Banish all negative energy. The lights flickered in the hallway, including the ones in the living room. Olivia didn't stop praying. Dear Lord, fill this house with light and love. Banish all negative energy. A dark shadow shot from the bathroom right into her bedroom. Olivia screamed just as the smudge stick slipped from her hand and fell to the floor. Olivia, what happened? Her mom called out from downstairs. I'm okay, Mom. Come back down here now. No, Mom. I have to find this. I have to finish this. Olivia Bell McGalla, this is an order. You listen to your mother and come back down here. Right now. Olivia grabbed the smudge stick and slowly walked down the hall. Dear Lord, fill this house with light and love. Banish all negative energy. Once she blessed all the rooms upstairs, there was still one left. A room she didn't want to go into, or be near. Her bedroom. It was the last to be cleansed. Olivia stopped in her tracks in front of her doorway as she stood there. Should I go in or let Gina finish? It wasn't that she couldn't do it. She knew she could. She just needed to find the strength within and do it. Somebody had to get rid of whatever was haunting the house. It was either her that needed to do it or Gina had to. One of them had to, or this thing wouldn't go away. Olivia took a step back and stared at her. Darkness occupied the room. Seconds passed by. It gave her the creeps. She waited for something to happen, but nothing did. It was dead quiet. Too quiet. The air in the room became so thick she saw it in front of her eyes. It was like it wanted her to know it was there. She wanted to run and go back downstairs where her mom and dad were, but she couldn't move. She tried, but it was like her feet were glued to the floor. A hand formed on the door frame, then an arm, a shoulder, a head, and there it was. Olivia flinched and fell to the floor, dropping the smudge stick again. She whimpered and felt the rapid beating in her chest. The pressure grew heavy. She scrambled to her feet, bolted down the hallway, and stopped to the landing. She looked back at the door and saw sharp, pringly teeth and horns. Her voice shook and she ran down the stairs and flew into the safety of her mom's arms. Her mom held her close. Are you okay? Yeah. Are you sure? You don't look fine. You look panicked. Yes, Mother, I'm fine. After Gina blessed the basement with a smudge stick, she came back upstairs. Did you bless your room, Olivia? Olivia hesitated and avoided eye contact. Her mom drew a blank. Yes. Okay, then you should be able to sleep in your room tonight. Gina opened a box. Olivia's stomach clenched. Her room wasn't blessed. She couldn't tell Gina she was afraid. She would get mad at her because she hasn't done it. She didn't want Gina mad at her. No, Olivia's mom said. Pulling her closer. I'd rather her stay down here. That's fine. Before Gina left, she did one last thing. She opened a little black case and lifted 3 medallion necklaces out. Each silver medallion had a different picture carved on it. One had Jesus' hands placed together as if praying. Another had Jesus on it. And the last one had a cross. Whatever you do, do not take these off. Keep them on at all times, even in the shower. What would happen if we do take them off? Olivia's mom asked. Gina gave Olivia's dad one and Olivia one as well. No questions, they will protect you. Gina gripped the medallions in her hand and placed another on Olivia's forehead, then said a prayer. In the name of Jesus Christ, protect this child from harm and keep her in your loving hands. Keep her safe, O Lord. Amen. Gina did the same thing to Olivia's parents. then closed the case and locked it. I'll be back as soon as I can to check up on you. Don't mess with the video cameras. Even if they make weird noises or move, don't touch them, she commanded. Understand? Olivia and her parents nodded. Gina gathered the tripod cases, carried them out to the car, and got the last thing she had. Then walked out the front door. Olivia's mom gazed down at the medallions in her hand. I hope this works. After Gina had left, Olivia was curious about what the recorders and videotapes might catch. The house was so infested and heavy that they might catch anything at any moment. The only thing that scared Olivia was when it would happen again. That night, everybody went to sleep, except one person. Olivia. She held the blankets in her hand. She held the blankets in a tight grasp and kept her eyes wide open for any sign of paranormal activity. She stayed still underneath the warm blankets. Throughout the night, she did fall asleep, but it wasn't for long. The fear of something happening kept waking her. A blast of cold air shot right over her. Her stomach clenched and she sat straight up, her breaths rapid. What was that, and where did it come from? The camera by the bedroom door tipped over and crashed to the floor. Olivia's parents woke up and turned the lamps on that were close by. What was that? Her mom asked, then reached for Olivia. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Her dad grabbed the shotgun and searched around the living room, then the kitchen. Olivia and her mom followed behind. The camera was laying on the floor in front of the dishwasher. Olivia's dad bent down and reached for the camera. Don't touch it, Olivia snapped. Her dad flinched and looked up at her. Why not? Don't you remember what Gina said? Do not touch it. How did it fall over? I don't know, Dad. I'm sure Gina will know when she comes back. Come on, let's get back to bed, Olivia's mom said. I wonder what the camera captured. Maybe the blast of cold air I felt earlier. Maybe that knocked it over. A sudden thud alerted Olivia and her parents. What the hell was that? Her dad asked, clutching onto the shotgun. I don't know, Olivia said. It sounded like it came from the basement. Olivia got up and walked over to the door and then opened it. Olivia, where are you going? Her mom asked. To go check. Her mom shook her head and stood up from the bed. No. Mom, please. Dad, will you come with me? You don't need to go down there. Back to bed. He walked over and closed the door. Olivia laid back down and turned on her side. When her parents fell asleep, she quietly got up and walked over to the basement door, then opened it. She had to know what was downstairs making those noises. She grabbed the Bible off the table where her mom had left it and walked down the steps carefully. I can't believe I'm doing this. I didn't know I could be this brave. She flipped the switch, but it didn't work. That's odd. It had worked earlier. She slid her hand along the shelf and grabbed the flashlight. When she got to the last step, she searched around with the flashlight to find what had made the thudding noise. Something might have fallen over, but she didn't find anything out of place. A giggle echoed close by in the room. She turned and aimed the flashlight where she had heard it. Nothing was there. Hello? Seconds passed by. She turned back around, and in front of her was a tall mirror hanging on the wall. She looked at herself, then realized, I guess we're almost done. Didn't realize that. Oh, yeah. She looked at herself, then realized she wasn't the only one looking back from the mirror. Ooh, this is the scary part. Something else was. She blinked her eyes and saw a tall figure standing behind her. When she squeezed her eyes more, she realized it was a child dressed from centuries ago, just like the little boy. There wasn't just one child, there was a dozen, standing there staring at her with desperation in their eyes. The flashlight shook her head. Maybe if she stayed still, it would go away. She squeezed her eyes shut, hoping nobody was there. She opened them again. There they were. A hand came out and touched her shoulder. It felt ice cold. Olivia gasped, scrunching her shoulders, then spun around. Across the room was another mirror hanging on the wall. There was one of the demons standing there staring at her. Olivia spun around again. An animalistic sound shook the fear of God in her, and she fell back to the floor. She dropped the flashlight and the Bible. Ice-cold fingers touched her arm and neck at the same time. The voices grew louder and louder. Scaly hands grabbed her by the ankle and the arm. Olivia broke free and screamed. She escaped up the stairs and slammed the door shut so hard a picture fell from a nail and shattered on the floor. Olivia, her mom called out. What happened? Her parents ran to her, then stopped. Olivia rested her head and hands against the door. They're down there, she whispered. Who? Her mom asked. I thought I told you not to go down there. Olivia slammed her fist against the door. Olivia, what happened down there? Olivia shook her head and didn't want to tell her mom what she saw. If she did, then her dad might go down there, and Olivia didn't want that. Olivia turned her head and looked at her mom. Nothing. I saw nothing. Don't go in the basement again, Olivia, and I mean it. You might have gotten hurt. I don't want anything to happen to you. Olivia's lips parted, but then she closed them. She wanted to say nothing would, but she wasn't so sure anymore. She'd always been attacked by the demons at night time in her bed, and by Inga in the bathroom. Well, let's hope Gina can solve whatever is going on. Everybody back to bed, her dad prompted. Olivia walked over to the couch and rested her head on the pillow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the part where I thought it was a scary scene, I thought she was going to see Inga. I thought she was going to see Inga in the mirror behind her, but instead, it was one of the demons. Now, that's pretty scary, too. Now, if my apartment was haunted, there is a basement, like, underneath, but, like, it's in the business that's below me. You go into the bathroom, and there's, like, a door, and it goes down to the basement. I do have a few pictures of me wearing my, I call it the Dead Bride costume. It was a costume that I kind of just made up. But anyways, oh my gosh. I'm getting so old. I forgot what I was talking about. Okay, so Olivia woke up and she heard something in the basement. So, oh yeah, I was talking about the demon. Yeah, if my basement here where I live was haunted, I would not go down there by myself. The basement down below here is pretty creepy and old and nasty, like it's cold and cobwebs and everything. Olivia's basement isn't like that. It's just, it looks like there's like a living room, like a family room down there with a TV and stuff like that, and nice carpet and whatnot. So she went down there and she had saw a group of children. Okay, so the group of children is all the kids that Olivia had killed for their souls, but I can't remember if they're trapped or if they're kind of lost, because when Inga got hung, she said that she was going to come back and take all the kids. So these kids, I think, were like the ancestors. That is so good. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I love yogurt bowls. It's so good. So anyways, I really had a lot of fun writing the scene where Gina was setting up the cameras, and then she leaves, and then Olivia is like just curious, and she heard something in the basement, so she wanted to go down there and just investigate. Like in the real world, I definitely would not be doing it. I think I would just lay there on the couch. I would lay there on the couch and I would like listen. Or if I was laying in bed, I would just listen, you know. So those 2 chapters, yes, those were a lot of fun to write. So the next chapter that I'm going to be reading is chapter 27. And you guys are going to be inside of Gina's head. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I just cannot wait for you guys to, I don't know. I'm excited for you guys to like be in her world and get to know her. So I'm just so excited. So, okay, schedule. Okay, yeah. Okay, today's the 16th, I think. Today the 16th? Yes. Okay, so Saturday the 17th, which is tomorrow, I am doing farmers market up here on the square, west side of the courthouse, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 12. And then July 20. Did I say August? I hope I didn't say August. But anyways, Tuesday the 20th, I'll be doing a live coffee chat at 9 a.m. And then I'll be doing farmers market that same day from 3 to 5:30. And then on Wednesday the 21st, I'm going to be doing a live reading of The Wish, chapter 27 at 3 o'clock. And then on Friday the 20th,